Number 5, we have 1 over x minus 2 all over x squared minus 2x is equal to 3. So we want to solve for x. In doing so, we need to find the LCD so we can eliminate the denominators. But before we do that, let's take the second fraction denominator and let's factor that, meaning we can factor out an x and we have x minus 2 that's left. So our first fraction we have x minus 2. Our second fraction we have x times x minus 2. What is the same? The x minus 2. And then what would make the second fraction different? There's an x. So we're going to set, well, let's identify the LCD, which is x times x minus 2. We want to state the restriction by setting the LCD equal to 0. So we're going to set x equal to 0. We're setting x minus 2 equals to 0 and solving where x is going to be positive 2. Therefore, x cannot be 0, nor can it be positive 2. So now let's take the LCD. Let's multiply it to every term on both sides of the equation. Okay, and then let's reduce. The x minus 2's for the first term divides out, and we're left with x times 1. That gives us x minus the next term. The x's divide out, the x minus 2's divide out. We have here remaining 2 is equal to, let's look at this next one, 3x times x minus 2. We're going to distribute. Well, this is what we have left. I just want you to see what we have there. So let's go ahead on the right hand side. Let's distribute. We have 3x squared minus 6x. And remember that we want to solve for x. And the way that we're going to solve for x is we're going to solve this equation by factoring. So what we need to do is bring over our terms from one side to the other so we can set this equation equal to 0. So I'm bringing the x over and subtracting the x to the minus 6x and then bringing over or adding the 2 over on the other side. So we have 0 is equal to 3x squared, and let's do this one, minus 6x over, plus negative 1x, that gives us minus 7x plus 2. Now we're going to solve by factoring. So let's take a look at that 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. Let's take a look at that. And remember, because we practiced factoring in the previous set of modules, here we have 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. Let's use the slide and divide method. We're going to take the 3, slide it over and multiply it to the 2. Let's set up our template here. We have the same signs, x and x for the first term. So here we have what are factors of 6, that when we add those factors, we have negative 7. So we're going to use 1 and 6, and it's going to be negative 1 and negative 6. So we slid. Now we're going to divide. We're going to take the leading coefficient of 3 and divide it into the last term. And we're going to divide and reduce. So the 1/3 cannot be reduced, but the 6 over 3 can be reduced. We have 1 and we have a 2. So then bottoms up. And we have 3x minus 1 times x minus 2. That would be our solution. As far as the factors of 3x squared minus 7x plus 2. So let's go ahead and write that out. 3x minus 1 times x minus 2, set it equal to 0. Use the zero product rule. Setting both factors equal to 0 and solving. So we're going to add 1, then divide by 3, and we have one solution, which is x is equal to 1/3, and the other we're going to add 2 to both sides. Okay, so we have two solutions, 1/3 and 2, but also look at your restriction. Your restriction says you can't have a 0 nor a 2. You can't have answers of that. So what we're going to do is eliminate one of the solutions because we're already told what x cannot be. So the solution that's going to be crossed out, that's not part of the answer, is going to be x equals to 2. Therefore, our answer for example 5 is 1/3. That is our answer.